Olá, bom dia. Nice crisp wintry morning. Smoke in the valley on that side here in São Martinho de Porto on Portugal's Silver Coast. And as I pan round to my left, you'll just see the headland perhaps in the distance. That's Nazaré, which you might be more familiar with, and the incredible surf afforded to surfers who come from all over the world for that, and also many more viewers who come to watch them being crazy, in my view. And then the vast Atlantic in front of me. And I was just marvelling at Portugal's relationship to this sea just now, and thinking about Vasco da Gama and the other great Portuguese explorers, discoverers, and what they would have made of the NIF number being asked for a number in a supermarket. It's just the way my mind works. And thinking how unheroic these times are. We're living in a lot of fear, aren't we? People worried about the COVID and geopolitical upheaval and the climate. A lot of people living in fear at the moment, I think, or there's a general atmosphere of fear. And I wondered if that was the time that Vasco da Gama and Magalhães and Henry the Navigator, if they lived in similar times where most of their contemporaries were living in fear, and a few rare individuals like them, supported by their royal families and people who wanted to become wealthier and explore the world, didn't let fear stop them. They presumably were, interesting character on the hill there. There's an explorer, not Jimmy the dog, not Jimmy the bastard as he's known, but somebody with a stick, a few sticks climbing along the ridge there. Interesting. The things you see when looking out at the Atlantic and the inspiration you get. But anyway, yeah, it doesn't strike me as very heroic, the times we're living in. Maybe that's a product of history, and how history is reported is that people become heroes in retrospect. But where are the heroes now? You know, if we make this sea that the Portuguese looked upon and thought, or some of them anyway, not all of them obviously, some were happy just, being inland here and thinking it was better when the Romans were here, or better than when the Spanish were here, or Napoleon, or whatever. Different times, sorry, I'm jumping timelines. But some would have thought and looked at the Atlantic and thought, what's out there? I'm going to go and find out. And now there must be some who look at the seas, the incoming tides of AI, and how nation states are changing, how we have a climate emergency, supposedly, as well. Let's just call them a big mixed bag of geopolitical factors they're incoming, like the sea is incoming. It flows and it comes in and out, but it's generally overwhelming and provides a horizon that we might discover, as perilous as it is and inhospitable. It's a beautiful, awesome sight, isn't it? Truly awesome. But you wouldn't want to be out in there as an individual. You want a boat. And what's the analogy? What's the metaphor now? What crafts, vessels can we create, construct, and sail out into these incoming tides of technological change, of change in the world, of political change, of our systems as we know them, collapsing in front of our very eyes with a definite lack of vision and hope and ideas. And the only vision and hope seems to be coming from the very people who screwed the whole thing up in the first place. I'm not hearing much in terms of people vision. A lot of people seem to be, that seems to be the general relationship. Well, it's just me. Maybe that's just how I've got it in my mind. Is that, we've left the government, we left mummy and daddy government to oversee things. They've messed, bloody hell, Jimmy over on that ridge now, Christ. Mummy and daddy government have screwed it up. And now we're asking them to get us out of this mess, or hoping vainly that they will. Of course they won't. If they could have done it, they'd done it by now. It's down to the heroes. Where are you? Where are you, heroes of the new times, the leaders, the visionaries? And instead of all of these things incoming, and I've fallen for this trap myself, instead of all these so-called threats and challenges incoming that are going to be changing this and changing that and changing life as we know it, what if they were seas that we were discovering and surfing upon rather than being overwhelmed by, which seems to be the general tone of how the population, or maybe it's just how it's reported, And maybe there are loads of hopeful, visionary people. They just haven't got the platform or don't get the spotlight of attention. Anyway, we can take hope and inspiration, I think, from the Portuguese discoverers who looked at this and thought, bloody hell, what's out there? And maybe we can have some of that spirit now, looking out in the next few decades of utter change, I think, that are coming our way, and see them as a sea that is not entirely hospitable and safe necessarily, but could contain within it, beyond it, immeasurable experience and development and growth, which of course we have a different view of now. You know, we don't need to go out and enslave people and plunder people's assets and resources and wealth. We're supposed to be better than that, aren't we now? So what's out there that we can commune and collaborate and cooperate about that is for the betterment of all mankind? I'll just leave that hanging there and wish you a very good day. And I'll give you a last look at the Atlantic by way of inspiration. Come on, let's surf and sail, my beauties.